friends. Welcome to Water Wonders. I'm Professor Priscilla.
And I'm Ricky Raindrop.
And today we are going to learn about watersheds. Ricky, do you know what a watershed is?
Well, I know what a regular shed is. We have one at our house. We keep our lawnmower in it and our bikes and some other tools. So I figure it's a shed where they keep water.
Well, you would think that would be the easy answer, but we only have to think about shed in a different definition. Instead of shed the building, we want to think about shed like when a cat is shedding its fur or a snake is shedding its skin. It's the fur coming off of the cat or the skin coming off of the snake. And in the case of a watershed, it's the water coming off of the land to the nearest body of water.
I got it.
So today we're going to use this model to represent our watershed. And we're going to do just normal day-to-day things that everybody does. We're not going to do anything out of the ordinary. And right down here in the very front, we have our lake. And then underneath here, we also have our tub, which is going to represent our aquifer.
The underground water.
The underground water where we get our drinking water from. And we'll see what happens to our lakes and rivers and streams and our aquifer if we're not careful with our day-to-day habits.
This is going to be fun.
So let's get started. First, let's start in our agricultural area. Ricky, do you know what agriculture is?
Well, I didn't think I knew, but I see a tractor over here in a field, so I think agriculture means farming.
Exactly. So we've got our farmer in the field, and he is going to plow his field. Go ahead and let's sprinkle some loose soil right here in our field because our plants need a nice fluffy place to start growing.
All right.
But Ricky, let me ask you, if it rains, now we have that nice loose soil, do you think that soil is going to stay put or might some of it wash away?
Oh, I think some of it will wash away.
Exactly. And is it okay if soil washes into the lake?
I'm not sure, Professor.
Well, soil's a natural thing, so you would think it would be okay. But, boys and girls, imagine if you're a fish. So I'm going to put my fish gills on, and we're swimming along, and we're breathing oxygen through our gills, and all of a sudden, here come a whole bunch of clumps of dirt clogging up our fins, our gills. How do we feel?
It would be hard to breathe.
It would be. So that is a problem when we have too much soil or dirt floating around in the water. The organisms that live in the water, the fish and the insects, they can't breathe. So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now the other thing we need to do is we like to give our plants fertilizer to give them that extra boost. It's like taking vitamins. So let's go ahead and give our plants some fertilizer.
All right, here we go. Fertilizer.
Very good. Now, Ricky, did you read the instructions before you put the fertilizer on?
No, I sure didn't.
Oh, Ricky. Boys and girls, just like our teachers tell us to make sure we read and follow the directions to get a good grade on our homework, to do our tests correctly, we have to follow directions as grown-ups as well, because if we don't, if we put the wrong amount of fertilizer on our plants, we could kill them instead of helping them. And now we have some loose fertilizer out there. Ricky, where's that loose fertilizer going to go when it rains?
Oh, it's also going to go right into the lake.
Exactly. And do you know what problem too much fertilizer in a lake could cause?
I know this one, Professor. Algae.
Algae, exactly. And algae, normally we may not even notice that algae's there, but if there's too much food, fertilizer, for the algae to eat, then they're going to multiply and they're going to cause problems for humans as well as problems for the animals that live in and around the water. So we have to be careful with that. Now you might have noticed, Ricky, I have some cows on our model here, and here's our little friend Nellie. Larry, Mo, and Nellie, and Mo unfortunately is on vacation today, so we just have Larry and Nellie. Now Nellie is in the water, she's getting a drink, taking a bath. Maybe she's getting ready for her date with Larry. I don't know. I don't know what cows do. You? I don't know. But when Nellie has to go to the bathroom, does she raise her hand, ask permission, and go to a special room?
No,
Ricky, what does she do?
she just poops.
She just goes right where she is. Now, we call that cow manure. And Ricky, would you mind taking some cow manure and sprinkling that around our cows, please? Very good. Now, that's cow manure, which we can use later as a natural fertilizer. Unfortunately, it has to be heated up first because when it first comes out, it is nothing but a big, hot, steamy pile of bacteria.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking, well, how does this apply to me? I don't have a herd of cows in my backyard. But, Ricky, do you have a dog?
I do.
Well, do you clean up after your dog when he goes to the bathroom in your yard?
Well, I'm pretty good at it, but my brother Polly is terrible at cleaning up when it's his turn.
I've heard you call him polypollutant. Is that true?
That is true.
Well, and that's just it, is that a lot of people think, well, I only have one dog. I don't live near a lake. It's not hurting anything. He's fertilizing my yard. But remember, that's bacteria that can get into our lakes and rivers and streams and even into our drinking water. So what do you have to do to protect our drinking water, Ricky?
Scoop the poop,
You gotta
Professor.
scoop the poop, boys and girls. Very good. So now okay, Ricky, so now let's move over here into our forest. We have a nice little forest going on here, and we get a lot of things from trees. Let's list some of the things that we get from trees.
Well, trees are a great place for animals like birds and squirrels and other animals to live.
A good habitat. That's an excellent suggestion.
Trees make shade, and that's very nice for people.
That's for sure. I would definitely rather be standing underneath a tree in August than in the middle of a parking lot.
Trees are used to make paper.
Paper, and we use a lot of paper, don't we? So, you know what? I'm going to cut down 2 trees from there. What else do we get?
Well, the barn here is made out of lumber, and the houses are made out of lumber,
So
and of course, lumber
right.
comes from trees.
We use trees to make buildings.
Uh-huh.
What about, we use pencils to take our
Oh,
tests?
sure.
Absolutely. So, Ricky,
Our forest is gone.
our forest is gone. And now, not only do we have a nice habitat, a nice place to walk, a place for the animals to live, but we also have a hillside here that no longer has any trees roots on it to help hold the soil in place. Boys and girls, do you know what it's called when soil is either washed away by the rain or blown away by the wind?
Is that erosion, Professor?
Very good, Ricky. And if you would, let's go ahead and let's put some loose soil on our hillside and get ready and see what happens.
All right.
So we'll get some loose soil out there. And meanwhile, I've noticed that we have people over here who were mowing their lawns and they blew their grass clippings out into the street.
Sure.
And you know what happens is that now that flows into the lakes, and that is like extra fertilizer. And we've got people over here in the parking lot who threw their trash out, and their car is leaking oil. So all kinds of nasty things that happen. And right down here, we have this nice little shoreline and a wetland area, and wetlands are nature's water cleaners. They help to filter the water before it goes into the lake.
I could see how they would stop things that are eroding down toward the
Exactly.
water.
But guess what? The homeowners who live there, they want to be able to get to the lake. So they're saying, hey, let's take all those plants out and let's put in a boat dock. So now we have cars and boats going down. We have no trees, no soil to help, plants help hold the soil in place. So we've got car oil and tire rubber. And when we pull our boat out of the lake, we've got to look to make sure that there are no hangers on, which means no plants on our propeller that might cause problems in another lake. Now, Ricky, did we do anything here that might be unusual?
Seems pretty ordinary to me, Professor.
Well, now guess what? It's going to rain.
All right.
So are you ready? We're going to go ahead and we are going to just sprinkle. We're just going to be a cloud. This is a nice light rain. Hardly even worth putting the umbrella up for.
Right.
But it rained all day. Just a nice, light, gentle rain. Ricky, do you see anything moving in our model?
No, not
Everything's
really.
kind of staying put.
Looks good.
So when we have a nice, light rain, the water has a chance to soak into the ground and it gets the pollution gets filtered out by the plant's roots. But what happens when we have those heavy rains? Why don't we get a heavy rain right over there by our farm?
All right, here we go. Uh-oh, Professor, guess what?
Uh-oh, Ricky.
Fertilizer and soil are headed into our lake.
Looks like bad things are happening there. So basically what happens is when water is moving quickly, it doesn't have a chance to soak into the ground, and unfortunately it will more quickly carry all of that pollution
Holy smokes.
right down to our lakes and rivers and streams. And then don't forget, when that happens, we have our aquifer underneath.
That is yucky.
Now, would you drink that if that came out of your faucet?
No way, Professor.
But what if I told you you didn't have a choice, because the aquifer is where we get our drinking water from? So what if it has car oil, tire rubber, fertilizers, pesticides, bacteria from pet waste? Would you let this happen to your water?
No.
Well, Ricky, why don't we go back and let's see the simple things that we could do to help prevent this from happening.
Well, I remember one thing you said, Professor. If we had some shoreline vegetation there, then maybe that fertilizer and soil and stuff wouldn't have gotten so quickly into the lake.
Exactly. We just need a little buffer zone between us humans and our lakes. And the shoreline, we want to keep those plants intact. We don't want to fertilize there. We don't want to mow there. We want to leave that area natural to help protect the lakes that we love.
What if we, when we cut down those trees to make paper and lumber and things like that, what if we planted new trees?
That, Ricky, is a great idea. For every tree we cut down, let's figure out how we can plant 1 or 2 trees in its place. Now, Ricky, I am going to make sure that I fence my cows in so that they're not in the waterways, but what are you and Polly going to try to do better with your dog?
Well, we're gonna scoop the poop better, that's for sure. And the other thing is, when we mow the grass, we're not gonna let those grass clippings go out on the street. We're gonna put them right back on the lawn where they belong, because they're sort of fertilizer for our grass.
Right, that's free fertilizer. So boys and girls, all those little simple things, even if you see trash out in the parking lot or in your yard, even if you didn't put it there, you could pick it up, throw it in the trash can, wash your hands, and you just help protect the environment.
These are really easy ideas, and of course, if we put our boat in the water, check the propeller, make sure it doesn't have
Right.
plants and stuff
And if
on
your
it.
car is leaking oil, you want to
Fix
go ahead
it.
and get it fixed,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
So boys and girls, we've got coming up, now that we've spent some time working in our watershed, we're going to have a special guest with us today. Landon is a first grader, and he is going to make a watershed with us, and you can follow along and make the watershed as well. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Landon, and Landon is in first grade. Do you want to say hi to everybody, Landon?
Hi.
And today Landon is going to be helping Ricky, Raindrop, and Professor Priscilla build our own watersheds. You can follow along as well. You'll need a couple of different size cups.
Yep.
We've even used some egg cartons. You like
Yes.
eating eggs, don't you, Landon?
Yes.
And Ricky Raindrop likes eggs too, so we always have some egg cartons around. And we've got some sprinkles, we've got some Hershey's Cocoa, we have a couple of different colored sprinkles, and we have some food coloring, and we also have a little bit of oil. Now, we have given each of our guys here some pans just so we don't make too much of a mess.
Yeah, it's like so dirty.
I know, we're gonna make a mess here. So just in case, we have a little pan. You can use a cookie sheet, or you could do this outside if you want. We've also
We would
got...
do this inside.
Yeah, you could do it in or outside. And we're gonna
Yeah.
use this little plastic bag
Yeah.
as well. So are you ready to get started, Landon?
Yep.
All right, so now Ricky Raindrop and Landon, I want you to go ahead and take some cups, whatever size you want, and put a couple of cups on your table. And you're going to turn them upside down just like that. You see what Ricky Raindrop is doing? Here's another one for you. You're going to put it right on your tray. Wherever you want it, you can put a couple on there. If you want some...
Put the big one on there. That's a giant mountain.
Perfect. And you want a little one too? Put a little one on?
I wish we could make a little waterfall.
Well, we just might. Let's just wait and see.
Yeah.
All right, now we have to cover it. So let's go ahead and we're going to take this piece of plastic and I
Yes.
want you to cover your cups. Can you do that?
Yes. Yeah. The
Go ahead and
big
put it
mountain
right
will
over the
be
top.
Yeah.
All right, now smush it down here and there.
Making them move.
Perfect. We just smush it here and there. And now,
We're taking over our classroom.
how about this will be our pollution. Landon, do you know what pollution is? Is that bad
No.
stuff? Is it yucky stuff?
Yeah.
Pollution is something that hurts our environment. It's things that shouldn't be in our environment. Kind of like if you were to take a paint can and dump it out back, that wouldn't be good, would it?
Yeah, it might get in animals' eyes and maybe they'll get killed.
Exactly, and we don't want to hurt any animals because outside that's their home.
Yeah.
So let's go
We
ahead.
want them to live.
We want them to live. That's very good.
Do
So
I
go ahead
Do I
and
have to dump it?
you can sprinkle just a little bit here and there. And Ricky Raindrop, you can sprinkle some too.
Is it like grass?
Perfect.
I'll trade you, Landon.
All right, let's trade. There you go. Can you grab that one?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I dump it?
Go ahead and put some of that on. And you can put it anywhere you want. And here's some all different colors.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Perfect. All right, you ready?
did
You want
that.
some sprinkles too?
Yep,
I'll
yep.
trade you. Take a little bit of sprinkles. All
It's
right.
raining sprinkles.
I got 'em.
Oh, we got
Oh, no.
sprinkles. All right, now we're going to take yummy. Was that yummy?
Yeah.
There we go. Go ahead and just a little bit we're going to pour. Just a little bit here and there. And this is our cooking oil that we're using right now. Okay, that's good. Whoop.
Waterfall.
Perfect.
It's a
there you
waterfall.
go, Ricky. Now that we've got that on, we're going to be very gentle. This is food coloring. We don't want to make a big mess with this. So
Yeah.
we're just going to take it and just make a little drop right up on the top. Just a little tiny squeeze. Perfect. Do you want to put some right there too? Perfect.
I want to make a little waterfall.
And Ricky, do you want to put
that
some
looks like
on
just
now?
like
Thank
a
you.
waterfall. I want
Now-
more waterfalls.
Now we have our watershed ready, just like we went through earlier in the program. Here's what we're going to do. You both have your rain bottles there. Are you ready to make it rain on your model, on your watershed? All right,
I'm
let's
ready.
go ahead and we'll get a close-up shot
Oh,
of...
he has a good one.
Go ahead and squirt right on there. Hold it up high.
It's raining. Ah, it's raining.
Now, do we see what's happening with our pollution? Is it running
Oh,
on
no.
different places?
Yeah.
Hey Ricky, or hey Landon, my pollution sounds like a duck.
Quack.
You guys got ducks?
We have duckies to squirt.
Perfect. Now, all right, let's stop
Spray,
our
spray,
rain
spray.
and let's take a good close look at
Oh,
what we've
that's
got.
also a little waterfall. There's
So
big
what
one
happened
and a
here?
little one.
Do you see how all the pollution ran down?
Yeah.
Just like on the watershed model we used earlier.
Yeah, over there.
Exactly. So boys and girls, you can try this at home and you can make your very own watershed. And we hope that you enjoyed today's episode on watersheds, and join us next time when we have our next episode. We'll talk about aquifers and we'll talk about lakes. See you next time, everybody.
Bye-bye.